Few days back, I uploaded a story on my Instagram where I did an AMA on a data analysis project that I was working on. As a result, so many of you asked me to do a video on that project. So here I am. Though the dataset will be different, but the project will be pretty much the same. What's up, Internet? I am Manish from rebellionwriter.com, and today we are going to do data analysis of COVID-19 data using Python and Tableau. And here is how I am planning to proceed with this project. Data collection. First, I will try to find a dataset. Anything which is continuously getting updated with the latest information will work. A huge amount of workflow of this project depends on the nature of this dataset. Data cleaning, if needed. Second, I will look for the anomalies in the dataset and try to fix them. I will aim to find a dataset with less errors and redundancies. But if still there's a need, we will do the cleaning. Data storage. In the end, we will store this dataset in such a way that we can use it with our data analysis software, which is Tableau. Let's start with gathering the data. While I was searching for the data for this project, I came across various good APIs. But unfortunately, all were paid. And all the free APIs were either incomplete, poorly organized, or not getting updated regularly. Now I'm left with only one option, which is web scraping. Initially, my plan was to get the data from worldometer.info website. I even drafted half of this tutorial around this. But just when I started recording this video, I got to know that the data from this website is also not free. Anyways, out of respect, I decided to drop already drafted script and code and look for something which is truly free and available for any of us to use. So far, one thing which is very clear to me is that finding a good free dataset is next to impossible. Therefore, right now my aim is to find a dataset which is getting updated regularly, regardless of it being clean or consistent. The only website which fits the bill is Wikipedia. Free and updated, but not the cleanest data for any of us to use. I admit it's not my first choice, as the data is not very clean, and that means we have to do a lot of work on it. And that also means you are going to learn various new things. So let's do that. But before that, you can download all the files of this project from my GitHub page. All the necessary links are in the description. Go ahead and check that out. That being said, now let's get back to the tutorial. First, let's quickly create a directory for storing all our files. Let's name it COVID-19 Analysis. Now let's launch the IDE. For this project, my choice of IDE is going to be Spider. As you can see here, you can use whatever editor or IDE you want. Now let's create a file and save it into the directory that we just created. I will name this file main.py. Done. Next, click here on this menu button and select Set Console Working Directory. Done. Now we are all set to write our code. For web scraping or fetching the data from the website, we will be using Pandas and request library of Python programming. Using request library, we will be fetching the data from the URL, and using Panda, we will save that data into data frame and process it. Data frame is nothing but a heterogeneous two-dimensional tabular structure, which means data frame can hold data of different data type into a row and column format. This makes data frames the best fit structure for holding this type of data. Let's do that. Here, I just imported both the libraries that we need. As you can see, I have declared two variables, URL and REQ. In the first variable, I'm saving the URL of the website from which we want to fetch the data. In the next line, we call the get method of request library. As the parameter to this function, we pass the URL. This function call will fetch all the data from the specified URL and return the response object, which will be saved into the variable REQ. Let's execute this code. Done. So we have fetched the data, but this is not the data that we want. Rather, it's the entire text of the website along with all the HTML, CSS formatting and other metadata. If you will double click on the variable name here, you can see what it's holding right now. If you will double click on the parameter text, you can see all the web page data that it is holding. Now the question is, how are we going to filter out the data that we need from all this? To do that, we will need the corresponding path value of the text parameter, which is req.text. Just note it down and close this window. Done. To filter out the desired data, we will be using read_html function of the Pandas library. This function will look for all the data which is saved in table format on the specified web page. And after that, it will extract that data into a list of data frames. So let's do that. Here we call the read_html function. As the parameter to this function, we have specified the path value of the text parameter that I mentioned earlier. On execution, it will fetch all the desired data and save it into the variable data_list. Let's execute this code. Done. In the variable explorer, you can see that the data type of this variable is list. This is not just any list, but the list of data frames. If you will double click on it, then you will see that it contains 22 different data frames. From these 22, we need to find out the one which has our desired data. And by desired data, I mean country-specific COVID-19 data. If you will look at them carefully, then you will notice that the data frame number 4 is the largest in size. Let's double click on it and see what we have inside it. So, this data frame holds the data that we need, but not in its cleanest form. We will handle that, don't worry. But for now, let's extract this data frame out from this list. But first, let's close these windows. So here I created this variable with the name target_df. On the right hand side of this assignment statement, I have written down the name of the variable which is holding all our data frames. And followed by that, inside the square brackets, I have specified the index number of our target data frame, which is 4. Let's execute this code. Done. Let's come to the variable explorer and see what do we have in the variable target_df. Great. We successfully extracted our desired data set. With this, we are done with the data collection. Now let's move on to the next step, which is data cleaning. This is going to be the most challenging process, but full of knowledge, and it's going to be fun. So let's do it. But before that, I just want to ask you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and press the bell icon to get notified every time I upload a new video. And most importantly, don't forget to press the thumbs up button if you like this video. Thanks. Now let's move on to the next step. Let's see what we need to clean here. So here we have two completely irrelevant columns. First one is full of NaN values and the last one is full of reference numbers which are of no use to us. Good. Okay. Also, this dataset has the worst column names. We will have to fix those too. And Column number 4 has this string no data stored in some rows. We will replace this with 0. No issue. Okay. I can see some of these country names are ending with the alphabets enclosed in square brackets. We will need to fix this because it can be a huge issue while data analysis. Anyways, let's scroll down and check if we have any issues there or not. Okay, the last two rows have text stored in them, which is again of no use to us. It's a small issue. We will delete these rows. These are few of the issues which are visible to us. But the one which is not is the data type of the data which is stored in this dataset. The data in these columns seems to be of integer data type, but it's actually of a string data type, which we need to convert. So, in total, we have 6 issues. Let's fix them one by one. And let's start with changing the column names into something more meaningful. We will be giving meaningful names only to column number 1, 2, 3, and 4, not to column 0 and 5, as these are of no use and we will be getting rid of them. So, let's do that. Here are the column names that I am planning to assign. Anyways, let's write the code. This is going to be simple. This is a pretty simple assignment statement. On the left hand side, we have the name of the variable which has the data frame which we want to update, followed by dot and then the keyword columns. On the right hand side, we have the new names that we want to give to our columns, separated by comma, enclosed in single quotes, and the entire list of the name is enclosed in square brackets. Let's execute the code. Done. Let's check. The column names have been updated. Great. Issue number 1 solved. Now let's move on to the next one. So, in our data set, we have two columns, column 0 and column 5, which are of no use. We will be dealing with them by extracting all the columns that we need and saving those into the variable. That way, we will leave these extra columns out from our targeted data frame, like this. On execution, this statement will extract all the columns that we have specified into the list and save it into the variable, which in our case is target_df. Make sure to enclose this list inside a pair of double square brackets, otherwise you will get an error. Let's execute and see. Done. Let's quickly check our target_df variable and see if we have updated columns or not. Great. Now this variable has data only from desired columns. With this, issue number 2 is also resolved. Now let's move on to the next one, which is extra rows of data. But before moving ahead, let me add some comments to this script so that it will be more readable. Now, this script is looking much better and more user-friendly. As we saw earlier, there are two rows at the bottom of the data set which are again irrelevant for our data analysis project. Thus, we will remove them. To remove these rows, we will need their corresponding index number. So let's get those. Let me first open up the target data frame. Okay, these index numbers are 229 for the last row and 228 for the second last row. Let's close this window and write some code. On execution,
This drop function will remove rows corresponding to index number 229 and 228.
But we cannot use these index numbers. Why? Let's say tomorrow Wikipedia updates this list by adding 2 more countries into the dataset. In that case, the index number of the last and the second last row will change. And if that happens, then this script is of no use. The solution to this issue is not hard coding the number into the statement, rather fetching the index number dynamically like this.
This statement on execution will return the index number of the last row of our data frame and save it into the variable last_idx. Now we will use this variable for deleting these rows like this. The first parameter of the drop function holds the index number of the last row, and the second parameter, which is last_idx minus 1, holds the index number of the second last row. Now, no matter how many extra rows of data get added into the data set in the future, this script will always work, assuming the last rows will always hold the irrelevant data. Let's execute and see if it works or not. Done. Let's quickly check. Great. Last 2 rows gone. Issue number 3 solved.
The solution to this issue is going to be an interesting one, because to solve it, we will be using RegEx or regular expression. We will need to write a regular expression which will search all the country names and look for the one which has a string written inside a square bracket. For example, United Kingdom. So the regular expression which best fits such a string is this. This regular expression will look for all the strings which has anything written inside a square bracket, regardless of its position. Which means it doesn't matter if the string enclosed in a square bracket comes in the end or in the middle or even in the starting of the country name. This regular expression will work for all those. The reason behind doing this is to future-proof this Python data processing script. Now, how are we going to use it? To modify the country names, we will use the string function replace of Pandas library. Let's do that.
To use the string function replace, we first write the series that we want to update. In our case, that series is the names of countries which are stored in country name column of the target_df data frame. Then we write the keyword str, and after that we have our function call. Make sure each of these are separated using dot operator. Here this function will take 2 parameters. First will be the regular expression and second will be the empty string. Just a pair of single quotes, nothing between them, not even a space. Because we want to replace the square bracket part of the country name with nothing. Let's execute the program and see the result. Done. And here we have the country names in the desired format. Just to show you the difference, here are the before and after of the data frame. I must admit, this dataset has started looking much cleaner. Anyways, issue number 4 is also solved. Now let's move on to the next issue. Here is the data frame, and as we can see, on some rows, we have string no data stored in total recoveries column. To fix this issue, we will again use the replace function. We will replace the string no data with 0. But the problem here is that both the parameters of this string function replace needs to be of a string data type. Don't worry, we will fix those. Meanwhile, let's write the function call. On execution, this function call will replace the string no data with another string which will be 0. Let's execute and check the result. Execution done. Let's check the data frame. So we have successfully replaced no data with 0. Now let's fix the data type of all these values.
Okay, so we know that the data stored in columns total cases, total deaths, and total recoveries is of a string data type. However, it should be of integer data type. So let's fix it.
To change the data type of our data, we will use a function named to_numeric of Pandas library, like this. Here, PD is the alias that we have assigned to our Pandas library while importing. Followed by that, we have our function call. As a parameter to this function, we have assigned the name of the column whose data type we want to change. Similarly, let's write the statements for remaining two columns. Done. Let's execute. Great. Let's check the data set. Nice and colorful.
We have done it. So here is the raw data set that we fetched from Wikipedia. And here is the one that we just cleaned. The result data set is already looking much better. With this, we are done with the first two steps of data processing, which is data collection and data cleaning. Now let's perform the last step, which is data organization. Now we are in the last phase of our data processing. The only thing which is now left is to save the data in a way that our data analysis software can use it. For data analysis, we are using Tableau. The two most widely accepted file formats by Tableau are CSV and XLS. You can export your data in either of these. For further use, I will export my data in XLX format. But for the sake of learning, I will show you how you can save your data in both these formats. So let's do that.
Exporting our dataset in either of these formats is very easy. For example, to export the dataset in CSV, we simply have to call the to_CSV function, like this. And to export the dataset in XLS format of Microsoft Excel, we just have to call to_Excel function, like this. In both these function calls, COVID-19 underscore dataset is the name of the file. Make sure to specify the name of the file with the extension, just like I did here. In the first function call, the extension is .csv and in the second, it's .xlsx. Also, make sure to put R before specifying the name. This flag lets the target software interpret the data easily. Anyways, I will comment the first function call as I want to export my data in Microsoft Excel format. Done. Let's give this program the final execution. Done. Let's check our project directory and see if we have our dataset saved into a Microsoft Excel file or not. Here is our data, nicely saved into our desired format. Let's open up this file and see our data. Here it is. Great. Everything is done just like we want.
So we have our dataset saved. Now we will put it into Tableau and draw some interesting charts. There are multiple ways of visualizing or analyzing this data. Say, we can plot our charts using libraries like Matplotlib or GeoPandas, or we can use softwares like QGIS or ArcGIS. But for this tutorial, I am using Tableau. First of all, it has a version which you can download for free. Second, it's much easier than any other option that I just mentioned. We don't need to further code or generate sets of files for analysis. We simply have to take the XLS file and process it with the software. So let's do that. But if you want me to do a tutorial using Matplotlib, GeoPanda or QGIS, then just go ahead and comment and let me know. That being said, now let's open up the Tableau and draw some interesting charts.
First, let's minimize this script. Now, let's open up the Tableau. Great, Tableau is open. Next, we have to load the data source. This will be the Excel file that we generated. Now, come to your left-hand side menu. If you have exported your file in XLX format, then select Microsoft Excel. But if you have exported your file in CSV format, then select Text file. In my case, I have exported my data in XLX format. Therefore, I will select the Microsoft Excel option. Next, you know what you have to do. Search your file and open it. Here is my file. Double click and open it. Done. Here we will be plotting two graphs. First will be a map and second will be a total death versus total recoveries chart. Let's start with the map. First, click on this sheet number 1. Great. Now come to the dimensions and double click on country names. You will have your map plotted on your screen. Before moving ahead, no matter how much you clean your data, something always stays behind. As you can see, we have 17 unknown values in our dataset. These 17 values contain the names of cruise ships and islands which are outside the scope of Tableau's map. If you have latest version of Tableau, then chances are there that you may not have these errors. Anyways, except from these values, we have the data from almost all the countries, which is more than enough for us. Now, I want my map to show only total number of cases. So, select total cases and drag it onto this button called label. If you want to format the text, then also you can use this button. Simply click on it and make your changes like this. Now it's looking better. Let's zoom this map a little bit. Now our countries' names are displayed twice. Let's fix it. Go to Map menu and select Map Layers. First, let's change the style. Let's set it to outdoor. Looking good. Let's uncheck this cities and country/region name checkbox. Now this map is pretty clean. Now let's quickly draw total recovery versus total death chart. For that, create another sheet. Now again, take country from dimensions panel and drag it to columns. From measures, take total recoveries and drag it to rows. Now sort the data. Now the chart is looking pretty good. Since the chart is showing the number of recoveries, thus let's change its color from blue to green. Good. Next, I want to add a filter so that we can only see those countries which fit into a range. Let's say I want to see only those countries where number of recoveries are over 1000. For that, again go to measures and drag total recoveries to filters. Then select sum and press next. Here select range of values and in this box specify 1000. Don't worry, you can change it later. Now press apply and OK. Next, right click on sum and select show filter. Now using this panel, you can see the countries with specific values. Also, come to this show mark labels button and press it. Now we can see the total number of recoveries on our chart. Next, we will be repeating all these steps but for total deaths. Therefore, again go to measures and select total death and drag it to rows. Since this chart is showing total number of deaths, thus I will change its color to red. We can also add a filter to it. Take total deaths from measures and drag it to filters. Repeat all the steps. Great. Now again, right click on the filter and select show filter. Done. Now come here and select entire view. Okay, now let's create a dashboard. Now we will use these sheets to make a dashboard. For that, come here and select new dashboard option. Before doing anything, come to this size panel and set it to automatic. Now take a vertical object and drag it to the sheet. And repeat the step one more time. Done. Now take sheet number 1 and drag it to the top vertical. And take sheet number 2 and drag it to the bottom vertical. Now both these sheets are individual sheets, not connected to each other. But I want that if I select a country here, it should also be displayed on the map and vice versa. Let's do that. Go to this menu worksheet and select action. Click add action and select filter. Come to the source sheet section. Here first select the name of your dashboard and then select the sheet which has your bar graph. Also in run action choose select. Now come to target sheet and again select your dashboard. And then select the sheet which has your map. Also choose show all values. Make sure all fields is selected in target filter. After that click OK and exit. Now let's zoom out this graph a little bit. Now, whatever country you select here in your bar graph is also selected in your map, like this. Now, quickly create another action, which will work in the reverse manner, which means whatever country you select in the map, its corresponding entry in the bar graph is also selected automatically. This time the source sheet that you will be selecting is the one which has your map. And the target sheet is the one which has your bar graph. Except from this, everything will be same. Let's clear the selection. Now, let's say you want to see the death and recovery rate in Russia. For that, simply select Russia and its corresponding entry will be on your screen like this. Similarly, you can create more charts and figures and customize your dashboard and do further data analysis. But for this project, I will stop here.
So that's all you need to do in this project. Here we used Python programming for data processing and Tableau for data analysis. If you like this video, then please press the thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to the channel for more such interesting tutorials. And don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified next time I upload a video. Thanks for watching. This is Manish from rebellionwriter.com.